It's a beautiful day to you, our lovely and smart real estate investors, wherever you're watching us across the world. I'm super delighted to welcome you to another insightful, educative, and of course, an exciting episode of Property Matters here on YouTube. In case you're coming across a video like this for the first time, my name is Adejare. I'm your real estate property investment specialist situated here in the beautiful city of Lagos, Nigeria. And I help smart real estate investors get the best. When I talk about the best real estate investment. So in case you're coming across a video like this for the first time, we've done a whole lot on this channel. We've done a whole lot. If I should keep mentioning, time will fail me to mention every fantastic job we've done here. So please do also subscribe to this channel. In case you're wondering what we're doing on property channels, we educate real estate investors on important things they need to know, and some important guidelines they need to work with whenever they are choosing any form of real estate investment here in the beautiful city of Lagos. We've done an exciting episode on land documents. We've talked about land verification. We've talked about how to identify a fraudulent real estate practitioner. We've talked about things you need to look out for. And I've also talked extensively on how to identify a fake real estate practitioner. So this is an elaborate property channel where you get all the information whenever you're choosing your next real estate investment. So once again, do well to subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that when I drop a video, a very important personality like you will be the first person to see it. Thank you very much, and I'll be back immediately after the short timeout. Don't go nowhere. All right, you're welcome back. So today I'm going to be talking about important things you need to put into consideration when you are choosing a rental properties. So I'm going to be talking about 5 important things you need to put in adequate, consideration when you are choosing your rental property. Over time, I've seen instances whereby a lot of people are, they are singing cases of the cited cases of what I ordered was different from what I got, and it was just because of the fact that many of the real estate investors, some of them failed to identify and of course highlight some of the things I will be explaining extensively onto this episode. So whenever you're choosing a rental properties, you should understand that in this market everybody wants to sell. We're talking about a real estate market that is interest driven. I'm also talking about the real estate market that is highly competitive. And the funny thing about the Lagos State rental market basically is that whenever a property has been put up for sale, okay, there is always a competition. Now, in this era of when you're buying properties in Lagos, in some cases I've seen different scenarios whereby you don't have ample time to evaluate the available options so that you can make an informed decision on the one that best suits your investment need, because of course the Lagos State rental market or the Lagos State luxury market is time driven. So if you are choosing a rental properties, these are the following things you need to put into consideration. The first thing you want to put into consideration is the demography of the place. So under demography, I was talking about the population of the place. Now, one of the reasons why a lot of people are choosing rental properties is based on the fact that Lagos State has over 23 million population, and out of the 23 million population, we found out that 70% of them are tenants. They are not property owners, and of course, with the recent statistics and findings we've done, we found out that people that owns properties to themselves in Lagos are not up to 30% of the population. So we see larger percentage of homeowners in Lagos or home seekers in Lagos are not property owners. And when you look at the population, you find out that 60% of the Lagos State population fall under the youthful categories, while 30% falls under the aged. And it's quite unfortunate that there are some people who are in their 40s, 50s, those who don't have a roof over their head. So demography, which is the population, plays an important role in the Lagos State real estate market. So when you're looking at demography, are you supposed to concentrate on the population? Now the thing is that when people are choosing, or when real estate investors are choosing the rental properties, there are some that they show preference in citing properties in a place that is heavily populated. And there are some real estate investors that shows preference for places, okay, that are densely populated. Some people love serenity, some people love organization, some people love, a situation whereby their property of their house is located in a serene where they can do, do a lot of relaxation, and of course they don't have to worry about the hustle and the bustle and most times the noises that occurs in Lagos State. So when we talk about demographic, it is relative. It is depending on what the real estate investor is looking at. So if you are the kind of real estate investor that you like to situate your places where your property where there's a lot of population, it's a fantastic thing. But if you are a real estate investor who also wants your property to be located in a serene thing, but when you are looking at demography, there's something you must also put into consideration, which is the migration pattern. Now, the migration pattern gives you a critical evaluation on the condition of the location. Now, when we talk about the inflow of people, now statistics have shown that over 60,000 people come to Lagos on a monthly basis, and out of these people, many people don't even have the intention of going back. Now, when you study the migration pattern of those places, you want to quickly assess the location and of course the caliber of people that are coming to that region. Now, the caliber of people determine the kind of rental properties that will do well, and of course the kind of tenants and house seekers that you want in that place. So when we talk about the migration pattern, you don't want to build an expensive apartment in a place whereby the latter percent of that population may not be able to affect. So when we talk about the migration pattern, how often are people coming there? And for those who are leaving, then you also want to put into consideration what exactly are the important factors that is making people to leave. These are some of the things that you want to put into consideration whenever you're choosing a rental properties. Now, and that's why sometimes I usually say that it is very important you do a critical analysis of the migration pattern, the demography, and some hidden things that may not be obvious whenever you are purchasing that property. The second thing you also want to put into consideration when you're choosing your next rental property is the accessibility of the location. Now, when we talk about accessibility, there are some places or there are some locations that are very easy to navigate. Now, of course, there are some places whereby you can access other important locations. Now, when real estate investors are choosing a rental property, there are a lot of things that they put into consideration, and one of the things is accessibility. How central is the location? How can I easily, locate a mall, a pharmacy, an hospital? How many schools do we have in this region? For instance, if my children want to go to school, I want to get a property in a place whereby they will have to drive, miles, or they have to drive hours before they get to school. So the accessibility of that place, of course, the accessibility to their place of work. In one of my videos, I said that some of the people that rent properties in Lagos, not all of them don't have their own properties. Some may have properties or have their home buildings in a place that is way, way far, from their place of work. Like the cases of people moving down to Lekki. Now, because of the refinery, the free trade zone, and other commercial activities that are coming to that region, a lot of people have been forced, okay? A lot of people were living on the mainland, some Badagry, some in other far, some in Yanopaja and the like. So one of the ways to preserve their sanity is to get an accommodation in the Lekki so that they can easily navigate their place of work. And of course, at weekend, these people go home to meet their family. So you want to look at the accessibility. How easy is a place to locate a bank, to locate an hospital, to locate a school, and the likes. And another thing under accessibility, you also want to look at the condition of the place during rainy season. And this is where some places in Lekki comes into serious scrutiny. I've talked about the cases of flooding, in one of my videos. So I'll be sharing the link of the video so you can have an idea of it. So there are some places that once it's rained, it's usually a disaster. so you want to check how the drainage system is, okay? You want to check the condition of the road. There are some places you will rent your apartment, okay? And the moment you start applying that road, your car will start, visiting the mechanic. So we have larger places of, some developing places of Lekki that has cases of bad roads, okay? So you also want to look at that. Then the next thing you also want to put into consideration after accessibility is the security of that place. And I've seen instances whereby a whole lot of people pay a whole lot in a place where the security is standard. And I'm going to be looking at that. Now, when you're choosing a property in Nigeria, because of the security situations that we have, you won't want to compromise on the security of that place. There are some places are very expensive because what they're offering is a top-notch security. The security there is standard. And in a place whereby the security is guaranteed, rents in that place will not be cheap. So if you're choosing your next rental property, you want to do a critical evaluation, okay, of how secured are those places, not only for you but for people that were renting their next property. There was a case sorry, excuse me. There was a case of a friend of mine that went to visit his friend somewhere in Lagos. I won't mention the place. And of course, because of the time that the night has passed, so he needed to pass the night, okay, in that place. And after passing the night, surprisingly, on the next morning, he found out that his car, okay, has been vandalized. The light has been removed, all those major parts. So in that kind of situation, the security of that place is compromised. So with these cases of security situation, you want to put this into consideration. You don't want to rent a house and you are, you are not 100% comfortable, or you are scared of any form of attack, armed robbery, and cases. There are some places in Lagos that they still practice traditional rights. I have to say this. There are some places in Lagos that some traditional rights, some traditional activities are still being practiced. More importantly, the Oro Festival. Okay, during the Oro Festival, some gender are not allowed to move at some part. Not just some gender, both the man and the woman are not supposed to move. At some period of time. Okay, maybe during the day or at night. I don't know, depending on the time the fix. So you want to quickly look at. You want to put that into consideration. The place I'm buying my next property, are there cases of security challenges? Okay, are there places of traditional practices? How often do they practice this? And what could be the implications on these places of all these rights on the property? Because you see, a whole lot of things, many real estate investors don't factor the fact that some things, okay, happen and they don't put it into consideration. Then the next thing you also want to put into consideration, okay, whenever you're choosing your next rental property, are what we call the service charges. Now, as a real estate investors, there are some rental properties that fall into serviced area, and there are some rental properties that falls under the categories of self-serviced. Now, if you are going for a serviced area, that means that the developer is in charge of your electricity, the developer is in charge of your security, the developer is in charge of your refuse disposal, and other things that will make life, okay, comfortable for you, the owner, or your tenant. And with all the services that has been, provided, okay, there are some places whereby electricity is 24/7. Light does not go off. Okay, there are some places whereby security is guaranteed. There are some places that you don't have to witness, wrong disposal of refuses. These things have been adequately taken care of, but they don't come cheap. In a place where electricity is constant, electricity is a very serious situation in Lagos, Nigeria. There's always a fee. I know an estate that for their bill for electricity on a yearly basis is 7.5 million. And people should say, okay, fine, I'm paying this amount of money just for me to have constant electricity. If I should calculate the number of money I'll spend on fuel, on diesel, or perhaps installing, solar, I kind of feel that the service fee for electricity is fantastic. And there are some places whereby you really want to provide these services by yourself. Now, what we have seen basically in some places is that Some estate have landlord association where they come together to discuss the security parameter for that area. There could be instances whereby some community may hire local security called the vigilantes. Some use the OPC. There are some that they also provide other services, but the cost is being shared from apartment to apartment. So what the way it's being done basically is that they have some stipulated amount of money that each resident is expected to pay monthly to ensure that those services continues. But you don't want to buy your next rental property in a place where you'll be struggling, okay, to pay your your service charges, because if you don't have what will be servicing your property, it will not have value and give you the kind of expended thing. So you want to quickly look at that. Now, for instance, for some of a real estate investor who will be looking for, okay, fine, I think I want to quickly tackle the issue of electricity. What I did basically was to install a solar panel. So in most cases I use solar whenever light is down, and of course solar has been very very economical. I'm not advertising solar, but I'm just saying that I've been able to use this as an alternative, okay, to the electricity I use. So the next thing you also want to look at, still under proximity, under accessibility, are proximities to important commercial areas like the banks, institutions, malls, and other places. Now, one of the reasons why I've been preaching, okay, and I've been encouraging real estate investors to situate and diversify, basically, is that you need to understand that as interesting as the Lagos State real estate market is, no area has everything. No area has everything that will make a real estate investment, okay, to be concentrated. For instance, if you are looking for areas where we have presence of academic institutions like universities, polytechnics, college of educations, monotechnics, and the likes, at the moment, larger percent of academic institutions are situated on the mainland, and that is why some real estate investors, okay, are looking at alternative real estate investment. A lot of people are investing in hostels. I have a real estate investor that we got a 17-year lease apartment for him, and as I'm talking to you right now, there's a tenant and the house is not almost completed. So the way the Lagos State in the Lagos State is situated is that all the important facilities are not concentrated in one place. So if you want to invest in maybe hostel accommodation, you want to invest in bed spaces, you want to invest in rental properties, you want to invest in a cash flow. If your investment portfolio is for cash flow, then you must diversify. The kind of return on investment you will get in places where we have academic institutions, when we have important markets, when we have the Ikeja Computer Village, when we have other places, situated a rental property there is very, very important. And the kind of rental return you will be getting on such properties can be reinvested in emerging locations like Ekpe, Ijebu-Ode, Ibadan, Lekki. Now, for Lekki, for instance, Lekki is still an emerging location, despite the fact that we're going to have an international airport there. There's a refinery, the deep sea port is there, the free trade zone is there, and to mention but a few. Now, you can also invest, but you must do it strategically. So, if you're looking for student environment, just go to the mainland. If you're looking for a land banking opportunities, go to Ekpe, Lekki, Ijebu-Ode, Ibadan, and the likes. Now, if you're looking forward to, now there are some. Now, the thing is, as a real estate investor, you need to understand the terrain and the need of a real estate tenant, someone that will be leasing your property or that will be renting your properties. There are some categories of people that owning property on the island is a big deal. So real estate People invest in real estate for different reasons. Some will be, I just want to own a property on the island. I learned that the big boys, the celebrities, the fun is on the island. So I want to own a property on the island. So people may choose to invest on the island for such reasons. Okay, so people have their preferences for investments, and there's some that will say, okay, fine, I want to invest on the mainland, okay, because I don't like the island. I know someone that wants to own a property on the island, rented it out, and moved to the mainland. And what was the reason? Where he bought the property, they didn't have access to good water supply. He was beginning to have skin irritation, so he had to put that property for rent and move to it. So you need to understand that people do real estate investment for different reasons, and this is why it is important you diversify. You don't put all your investment in one place. Don't just put all your investment, all your savings, all your real estate investment on the island. Learn to diversify, and that is the beauty of real estate investment. So this is where I'm going to draw to this curtain of 5 important things you need to do when you are in choosing your next rental properties. I hope I've been able to pass important information to you. Do well to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, so support me by subscribing, and I will see you in my next video. Remember, I can help you get the best real estate investment. A trial will certainly convince you. See you in my next video. Thank you, and God bless you.